Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we are back with another episode of Hearthstone. We are starting a mini-series in which, now that Blackrock Mountain is done, we are going to rebuild all of our decks. So the first deck we are going to rebuild is our Warlock. Let us, first of all, just go into crafting mode, and we're going to spend some time just looking at what the Warlock card options are in general, as far as the cards I've seen. This whole system is a little weird because I'm not 100% certain that there aren't more cards out there, and the grayed out ones are just the ones I've played against. I don't have any confirmation on that. If anybody knows, let me know in the comments. If it's grayed out, does that mean these are all the cards possible? Or are these just the ones I've seen? They might be all the cards possible. And so what I've already done, but we're going to do it again with some authority now since I've studied a little bit, is looked at all the Warlock cards and looked at all the neutral cards just to figure out what cards combinations you have. We know the Warlock has its ability for 2 mana to do 2 damage to itself and draw a card. Which, as we look here, I want you to think along the lines, that's probably the only thing that's good about the Warlock hero. And I'll explain that as we go along. So your first card is Power Overwhelming. It gives a friendly minion +4/+4, then it dies horribly. So that's kinda good, but not really. This one, the Blood Imp, has stealth, and then it gives friendly minions +1 health, but it has no attack. Here's your first card that is pretty bad. The Flame Imp. It's a 1 mana for a 3/2, which is good, but then it has a battle cry of dealing 3 damage to a hero. As far as I've seen, there's no way to stop battle cries. So it's always going to do 3 damage to your face. And that is pretty much the theme for the Warlock. You're going to have recklessness and a lot of self-damage, and you'll have these demon types. There are no demon types that I see in the neutral characters. So all the demons you could ever play are pretty much here. Next one is Dark Bomb, deal 3 damage for 2 mana. That's like 1 more damage than some of the other heroes cards, but not really that important. Here you have Demon Fire, deal 2 damage to a minion. Unless it's a friendly demon, then give it +2/+2, which gives you some options. I kind of like that. Sense of Demons, put 2 random demons into your deck or hand. Probably not worth it to have this card in your deck. Here's one we haven't created, and we're still having the Hearthstone visual glitch issue. I don't think this is my computer or anything, but it's, you right click it and sometimes this is messed up, sometimes this is messed up, sometimes this is messed up, sometimes all 3. So there, we can right click it and some of it will be better. All that you really need to see is the instructions, particularly when it's grayed out, so the name is messed up. It does this on my tablet too, but my tablet is like an original Nook tablet running Cyanogen mod, so I'm willing to forgive it there. I'm not willing to forgive it on my PC. There's no reason this should happen on my PC. Anyways, this card has Taunt. A battle cry destroys 1 of your mana crystals. Almost certainly not worth it there. You have Void Terror, which is a pretty good one. For 3 mana, it has a battle cry that destroys the creatures on either side and gains their attack and health. Pretty good card. I don't have it. Imp Implosion. I think Imp Implosion actually is a pretty good card. It does 2 to 3 damage, and for every damage it does, just randomly, it summons a 1/1 Imp. If you get spell damage plus up somehow, you could even do a few more damage. Shadow Flame, destroy a minion and deal attack damage to all enemy minions. Almost good, but I would want it to be all enemies, not just the minions. Shadow Flame kind of works, but it's not good enough for me. The Fell Cannon, at the end of your turn, deal 2 damage to any non-mech minion. Maybe if you had enough mechs, you might try to make a mech deck with the Warlock. We have the Pit Lord here that has a battle cry of dealing 5 damage to the hero. 4, 5, 6. Pit Lord might actually be a pretty good card, actually. Summoning Portal, I'm not sure it's really worth it because it costs 4 mana. It makes things 2 less, but not less than 1, so you still have to spend 1 mana. This one deals 2 damage to a character, and then if it kills that character, it summons a random demon. This gives you some options. It's kind of expensive for 5, but it lets you hit the face or minions. We have, let's see, Demon Heart, deal 5 damage to a minion. If it's a demon, give it +5/+5 instead. It's probably a pretty good card if you were going to try to do all of a demon deck. Doomguard, come on Doomguard, has charge and a battle cry to discard 2 random cards. There are several cards like that I missed them or skipped over them or what, where you discard cards. Let's see. I don't know where I missed them. I've seen demons that when you summon them you discard cards, and I'm not seeing them now, so that is weird. That's the more evidence to my thought that you don't see all the cards. This isn't all of them. Again, if you know, let me know in the comments. So discarding 2 cards, not a great idea. It's reckless. It's all these are reckless and do damage to yourself. Now you have the Floating Watcher here, that whenever your hero takes damage on your turn, you gain +2/+2. And if you could get this one out really fast and then do all this damage to yourself and not get yourself so low that your opponent can kill you, maybe you could get this strong enough, but it's just such a reckless. I mean, I hate to repeat myself, but it's just recklessness on recklessness on recklessness. Next one, destroy a minion, restore 3 health to you. That's fine if you want to destroy a 1 mana minion, but this still costs 6 mana. That's really expensive for restoring at max 3 health. We have the Anima Golem. At the end of your turn, it's destroyed if it's the only character on your side. That's a 6 minion 9/9. Maybe you'd want to do that, but that's kind of crazy. You have Twisted Nether, destroy all minions, just destroy everything. You might have that, but I doubt it. Now, Lord Jaraxxus here makes more sense. I feel like the Warlock's ability and all of that is kind of so bad that summoning Lord Jaraxxus when you've used most of your health to draw cards and do all and summon demons is probably a decent idea a lot of times. And then you have Mal'Ganis, which gives all your other demons +2/+2 and your hero is immune. If you have this guy, all your demon deck would make a lot more sense. It would make a lot more sense with this guy because your hero is immune, cannot die at all. In theory, if he's immune, that probably means you could take and draw cards for free when you only have like 1 life left, but that'd be pretty dangerous. So I would definitely want these 2 in my deck if I was going to use a lot of Warlock things. So of the Warlock deck, the 2 main things are discarding cards and doing damage to yourself. Pretty much in the neutral cards, there's nothing like that at all. So there's nothing that complements that or benefits from that, really. The only thing that even kind of helps it are healing cards. And so there's no demons here. There's nothing. I'm not going to go through all of these cards one by one like I did the Warlocks, but I have looked at them all, and there's nothing that makes any sense as far as the demon deck. I would think if you're going to do a demon deck, you're going to take these 8, 16, almost 24 cards. I think you're going to just use every single one of these. And when there's 2, you're going to try and use 2. If you're going to make a Warlock deck. And just stick to demons. Very few cards in this deck, in the neutral, make any sense. And so that really pointed to me to the thought that I eventually came down to of, well, there's 2 ways you can go with the Warlock. You can either pick mostly neutral or all neutral, or you're going to pick mostly or all Warlocks. They don't complement each other really well. However, if you just, in my case, since I don't have a lot of the major cards, the game-winning strategy cards that I think I would need, picking mostly neutral actually helps on the Warlock because you can draw a card and get more cards. So let's start now making the Warlock deck. Bye-bye to the old Warlock deck and start a new one. Now, I am kind of cheating, so if you see any pauses in me, it is because I'm reading a overlay that you can't see of the cards I've picked. So, what I picked are, I need a 1 creature. There's a couple of options in the neutral. I pretty much picked everything in the neutral first, then I went back and added I think maybe 1 or 2 Warlock cards. So I could do a Wisp, I could do a Leper Gnome. I briefly considered doing the Murlocs deck, but it didn't seem like that really would be too beneficial by the Warlock. It kind of would be. Murlocs kind of work in everything, and if you drew another Murloc for 2 health, that would be helpful. And I really think that the hero ability of the Warlock, the sacrificing your health to get 1 more card, is probably the best. I don't see any reason why to do beasts for the Warlock. That's not going to really complement. You could do a beast deck, sure. You could do a pirate deck, you could do a Murloc deck. But I'm gonna go with Zombie Chow, because Zombie Chow has worked a lot for me. The reason why Zombie Chow works is because even though it has this terrible death rattle of restoring health to the enemy hero, you summon it on the first turn, and usually your hero is at max health of 30, usually at that point anyways. So you can't go over the max health. As long as this guy does 3 attacks, he'll do at least 1 damage, or he will do, even if he does no attacks, he'll take an attack from your opponent so they don't hit your face, and it's a cheap way to get a 2/3. So I like Zombie Chow still, so I take 2 of those. And then Annoyatron is a new card from Goblins vs. Gnome, and it's pretty cheap for what it gives you. It's 2 mana, 1 attack, 2 health, but it has Taunt and Divine Shield. So on your second turn, you summon this guy. It may take them their second or third or 4th turn to get rid of this guy. So it's a great way to stall, have a creature out there, maybe do 1 or 2 damage to the face. It's giving you about 3 options there. So next card I chose is the Owl. Always kind of want the Owl in my deck. It is definitely one of the better cards out there in my opinion. It is 2 mana for a 2/1, but it silences a minion. It's kind of a really cheap card you want to hold till the right moment, mid-game or late game, and just destroy some special card that your opponent's gonna summon. So I'm going, let's see, we'll just stick with the neutral ones, and then now if I do that, I won't be able to use the overlay. I'm going in the order of their height. So reading my list, The one card I do like that's in Warlock is the Mistress of Pain. Because its ability is it's a 2 mana 1/4. It doesn't have taunt, unfortunately. I would like if it did. But it restores health to the hero for every damage it does. So even if they attack the creature, it's going to do at least 1 damage. If there was like a 4/1 creature that attacked us, it would kill the Mistress of Pain, but I'd still get 1 health. And I think it's worth it. It is the only card in the Warlock deck really where you can get life back. And you need life back, as we're going to see as we further build it, because if you're going to spend 2 mana a lot to draw more cards, you're going to want to replenish that. So now back to this, the neutrals. Next thing I got was the Fish Eating Ghoul. It's a 3 mana. Let's see. Oh, no, not fish eating, flesh eating ghoul. Whenever a minion dies, gain 1 attack. I'm kind of experimenting with this card. I'm not sure if this is really the best card, but that's how decks go. You have to have some experimenting. So I've thrown 2 of these in this deck. It's just assuming that a lot of my other characters are gonna die, and maybe this one will stay alive and get some health. Let's see. Next one is the Guardian Infantry. It is 3 mana 1/4. It has charge and taunt. So I like it. I think this is the cheapest taunt creature in this deck. If I'm looking right, no, the Annoyatron is the cheapest one, but this is pretty good still, so I'll take it. Yeah, the Annoyatron has taunt, but so we're getting another taunt creature just for that. Let's see. Moving on, the next thing I got was the Questing Adventurer. Again, an experiment of whenever you play a card, gain +1/+1. You're gonna notice in this deck there is not gonna be a lot of spells or things, so it's gonna definitely be a lot of summoning creatures. It's almost all creatures, but the one spell that is in here that I do think I like is Imp Implosion, or Implosion here. So I'm going to take the one of those that I do have and put that in the deck, and then back to this. So we've only done 2 Warlock things, and I think that's pretty much all the Warlocks cards I chose. Only 2 out of the 30 deck. I wish this thing would remember what page I was on. So the next thing I got was a 4 mana. I chose was the 4 mana Defender of Argus. I only have 1 of those. I'd take 2 of those if I did have them. And then I got, well, let's go back and talk about it. not just look at it. It has the battle cry that gives the minions on either side a +1/+1 and taunt. Pretty good card, I think, for 4 mana. Then I got the Shield Master here. It's Shield Master, not Master. 4 mana, 3 attack, 5 health, taunt. So I got a couple of those. And then I chose the Antique Heal Bot here, which I have been finding very annoying in fighting my opponents lately. It is a new Goblins vs. Gnome card, and if I find a card annoying to me, that's usually a good card to have in your deck. It restores 8 to your hero, it costs 5 mana, and it's a 3/3. It's pretty balanced, I feel like. 5 mana is kind of expensive. If it was just a 5/3, that'd be way too expensive. It should probably be a 4 or even a 3 if it had no battle cry. But then to use 2 more mana and restore 8 health is definitely worth it. There's no card out there that's 2 mana to restore 8 health as a spell. So I'm finding, I think it's a pretty good choice to have that in your deck. So that gives you another 16 health if you can summon both of those guys, of more cards you can draw. Next one I chose was Dark Scale Healer. Restore 2 health to all characters, including your face. So that's another 4 health if you summon these two. Of course, that would be 20 mana if you summoned both of the Dark Scale healers and both of the Antique Heal Bot. You'd be going for a really long game, but that's kind of what the deck is being built as a long game, where we might just end up decking a lot of people. I'm not sure that you can play a short game for every character and be doing the best you can. Let's see. Next one I chose, well, is not that one. One second. Okay, so I did choose one more Warlock card. I chose the Floating Watcher, which, okay, it's 5 mana and it gets +2/+2 when your hero takes damage. That will happen a lot because we will plan on drawing it. So I'm experimenting with those in the deck. So there are actually 6 of the 30 cards are actually Warlock's cards. Just get back to where we were. Another thing I chose is I'm not going to get gold versions in the deck. There's no reason, in my opinion, to have one card be gold when the rest of my deck is not going to be gold. It's just going to look kind of ugly. So let's just keep everything normal. I think the whole gold card back stuff is ridiculous anyways for a virtual game. Let's see. I went too far. The next one I chose on the neutral side is the Grim Patron, which is the Blackrock Mountain card. I'm not sure how many of the Blackrock Mountain cards we're going to end up actually using in decks, but I'm going to try this one. Whenever this minion survives damage, it summons a copy of itself. Not in the sense of it having the same damage, it just summons a new 5 mana, 3 attack, 3 health creature. So you can fill up your deck if you know what you're doing. But I'm not actually one that knows what they're doing. So I'm experimenting with that, trying some of these new cards. Then what was the next one I chose? Where is it? Where is it? Here it is. Lord of the Arena. 6 mana, 6 attack, 5 health, taunt. So, 2 of those, pretty powerful cards. These are late game cards that I wanted. And then I chose Reckless Rocketeer, which is pretty reckless. I mean, I was talking about how I didn't really like the whole recklessness and dangerousness of playing a Warlock, but I've chosen Reckless Rocketeer. 6 mana for 5 attack and 1 health. I would prefer actually if it was 6 mana for 6 attack and 1 health, because it's just about the same when you at such a late game can summon this. It's almost certainly going to die after the first attack. But I put 2 of those in, and so we only have 2 more slots. 28 of the 30 have been full. And so one thing, we want the legendary in the game solution, and I looked at, I don't know why I say we, I looked at several. I thought maybe Chromagus, but Chromagus has a problem of it's just too late in the game. By the 8th turn, you only have 22 cards left. So you summon that, and maybe you could get 44 cards if you could keep it alive. It's just, it's not really worth it. Thought about Kel'Thuzad. We've tried that in a lot of things. There's no real reason you'd have Kel'Thuzad in this deck, though. It's not going to work towards any strategy. I don't think Rend Blackhand, with its, if you're holding a dragon, destroy a legendary minion, I don't see that. I don't think the Divine Shield for the tank is that much. I don't think a 777 natural card is really worth it. But I do think Ragnaros the Fire Lord might be worth it. 8 mana for an 8/8/8. It can't attack, but if it gets silenced, it could attack. And actually, it's a bit of a coincidence. I've chosen this card, and I didn't know this, but I also chose Major Domo Executus, which replaces your hero with Ragnaros. Now, Ragnaros, when he's summoned, is 8 health maximum, but he has a 2 mana ability, I believe, to attack a random enemy, the face or the minions, with 8. So, you have 2 versions of Ragnaros. You have this one that does 8 as a character on your deck, and this one that makes your hero Ragnaros and does 8 as a hero ability. So I'm assuming Ragnaros is a pretty big character in the World of Warcraft game, since they've now made 2 cards about it. This is definitely Blackrock Mountain, but the previous one here is a classic card. So, that's a little interesting as to how the story's gonna go and how new cards are gonna go. If we're gonna start, we've crossed that line where we've kind of doubled cards to do the same thing. I looked at all these other ones. This one doesn't make a lot of sense. Summon a leopard gnome whenever an enemy dies. That's cool and all, but it's a mech. I'd want this probably in a mech deck. And it's not going to summon very many leopard gnomes because it'll take the 9th turn before you summon it. Nefarian, add 2 random spells to your hand from your opponent's class. There aren't very good spells in the Warlock hand. The Yorsa, the add a dream cards, the dream cards aren't that powerful, so I really wouldn't do that one. And then Deathwing, I thought about it, destroy all your minions and discard your hand, but I just don't think it's worth it. 10 mana, 12 attack, 12 health. Definitely the most powerful as far as attack and health, but it costs a lot as far as destroying your minions and discarding your hand. If there was some way to stop battle cries from activating, which will be the trigger to really change this game up, I could see summoning Deathwing, because then that would be pretty cool. So that's the deck here. We've got a pretty bad histogram in, I would say. I can't hover over it, but we have 2 1 manas, 5 2 manas, 5 3 manas, 4 4 manas, 8 5 manas, 4 6 manas, and 2 7+ manas. Ideally, we'd probably want 6 or 7 2 or 3 mana creatures in our deck, and we wouldn't want to see a spike in 5. But that's kind of where I ended up, and a lot of that just has to do with the fact that I just don't have very good cards. That's it. And that's going to be the story for new players, and it is going to be the story for all my other decks also. I have to play with the cards I have. I can definitely see if I had other cards, I would be able to do some other things, create a more synergistic strategy. This strategy isn't very synergistic. There's no real trick here that works together. It's just summon cards, summon the most powerful cards we can, heal every now and then, draw more cards. Can't really work with these Warlock things until I have pretty much every single Warlock card, and then maybe I could think about making a new just all demon deck. But I think that's your only 2 options: almost all demons or almost no demons. Demons don't seem like they want to work together well with anything else, which thematically makes sense. So we've made the deck. Let's go test out the deck. we've got our new Warlock here. Let's go do it. The new season has come and gone, and we'll just play 1 or 2 games here and test out the game. I've got a quest that I'm going to end up finishing anyway, so we'll just do that as we're probably here if we win. Otherwise I'll do it off screen. We got a new card back that has like a small cupcake type design on the background. This is what it is. You can see it probably easier later. So we have the coin. Second turn we can only summon the Annoyatron. Well, we could do the Mistress of Pain, but I'm not ready for that in the turn. So yeah, you can see the new card back. You get a card back every month for just making it to rank, I believe, 20, and it's super easy to make it to rank 20. I ended up at rank, I think, 18. It starts at like -22 for most people. As long as you make it to rank 20, you start at like 21 or 22.
Give me a quest.
But you get bonus stars for how high you get, so I think maybe when you very first start the game you start at like 25 or something. But you can't fall backwards until you get to rank 20. So you can't lose stars and go down the rank. Alright. Whenever a minion dies, gain +1 attack. That means minions on either side. But I'm gonna use this spell. It's gonna do 2 damage, that's gonna give me 2 minions. Even though he only had 1 health damage. It's important to realize that even if they only have 1 health, you can still do 4 damage to it. Of course, he's gonna cast a spell now. He probably might even cast a second spell. Yeah. Man, I really wish that guy was out there. Alright, so Zombie Chow and this guy in the turn. I wouldn't recommend the Warlock as a new player. You should probably play them all, but even saying that, I think my experience of playing the mage, which is almost certainly the easiest character first, and playing it for a good time, getting a good mage deck out there, I think is the right move to start off with. And Warlock's a pretty difficult one. It's hard to see a strategy. I mean, I still don't really see a great strategy with the cards I have. So he's wearing me down. And interesting strategy he's playing of just the Pyromancer and the priest and healing himself and doing all of this. Let's see, I'm gonna go ahead and throw this guy out there. We gotta get some of these guys gone if we're gonna win, which we probably aren't. When they're at 30 and you're at 17, odds don't look good. A lot of people are playing the Emperor Thracian here to reduce the cost of cards by 1. I don't think he's worth it. I really don't. I just don't. Let's see.
I don't have enough mana.
I can ease your pain.
6 mana for a 5/5, and that at the end of every turn, he's just gonna reduce everything by 1. It's not really that great. I mean, I might sell myself on him. I don't often find myself in a position where I say this to myself, oh, I only needed 1 more mana crystal and I could have summoned this. It's very rarely that is the situation. There's almost certainly always I needed a lot more of better cards and more valuable cards. Cards that do more for me. Because I'm almost always running out of cards. Almost always running out of cards. That's where life tap here is actually kind of helpful for my playstyle. If you're willing to do it. I don't know if the trade-off is really worth it. I have at least 4 cards in my deck that wouldn't be in my deck if it weren't for this life tap ability. So unless I'm on average doing life tap more than 5 times on average, it's probably not worth it to play life tap. And that gets really weird when you have a hero that you really can't even use his ability. Nothing changes his ability or does anything. You could potentially give yourself immunity with that Mal'Ganis character and then reduce your life to not reduce your life while you're doing life tap, but that's like on your 9th turn. So now would be a time where you would play like Major Domo Executus because you have not a lot to lose.
Tadingo! Yeah.
Let's see. Heal that. Not doing great, am I? Not doing great at all. He's still at 29. Watch, he'll do a Holy Nova here. But if he does it, he's gonna hurt himself. Is he willing to do that? Probably. Well, it doesn't matter what he does because he just has to hit my face and he has enough characters here. Interesting. He chose not to. Is he gonna be one of these guys that is just gonna string it out? He's got me over a barrel, he knows he does. Nothing really in his deck that was super strategic or anything, it's just ugh. So I think I need some more work, but this is my deck at the moment. I'll probably make some tweaks to it as I go along, but couldn't really think of anything for the Warlock. It's weird, I know. It's strange that there's nothing more that I could do, but that's pretty much it. So I could kill this guy and not actually die next turn. Because now he can only do 8 damage and I have 9 lives. Can we turn this around? That would be very amazing. It would be very, very funny if we could turn this around somehow. Might as well just keep on tapping. Just keep on tapping.
For the gnomes!
Smash the face. We are going to play practically every single card. With my overlay program, I'm seeing every card that's left. There's only about, well, 6. Yeah, I didn't. There's only 6. So, We're gonna see every card in the deck and it's still not gonna matter. So he's gonna kill this guy and then I'm gonna become Ragnaros. And then that may kill me on that turn. Oh, wow, Ragnaros versus Ragnaros. Well, that is a bit of a treat. I'm gonna think. So that is a bit of a treat. We just had Ragnaros defeat Ragnaros in a pretty pitiful game. Let's give it a second chance and then we're gonna call it into this episode. This little mini series we're gonna do is gonna be a little bit different. We're gonna spend a lot of time up front building the deck and then just do 1 or 2 games and then call it a day. Not a great deck. I'll fully admit, but I can't think of anything else. If people have seen my cards and they have a better deck that they'd rather suggest, I'm totally willing to go try a fan deck if they can point it out there. I'll go look at it and try and figure out what strategy is being played there. I don't see a lot of people playing Warlock when we play against them, and there's probably a reason for that. Just I don't think Warlock is a very good hero to play. We see a lot of hunters, we see a lot of mages, we see a lot of priests. Every now and then we see paladins, but like rogue, druids, warlocks, those are the lower characters that don't get played very much. Alright. Do I want to silence anything or just draw a card? I'm just going to draw a card and attack the face. I need to do 3 attacks with a zombie chow for it to be worth summoning. Alright. Summon this one. Kill this one. Give him a beast. Get one up. Hopefully I didn't give him a really good beast. Well, he's playing the coin. And he's doing multi-shot. Darn it. Well, we start over again. It would be nicer if this just got +2/+2 whenever the hero took damage. That would at least make more sense to me.
Give me a quest.
Alright. Do I want to give this guy an owl? Let's see. I'm gonna do something strange and silence my own guy. So now he has no reason to attack this guy, and because of that I'm just gonna let him attack my face. Very strange thought. Oh, that didn't work. Oh, that was terrible. Alright, how about we do this? You're hoping it does 4 damage.
Job's done.
But 2 damage is the minimum. So 2 1/1 demons. It's a pretty good spell actually. I mean, when you think about it, do some damage to a minion and summon some creatures. Usually you have to summon a creature and then do some damage via battle cry. This is very backwards. Alright, let's see. We have 7. Let's do this. Base, base, base.
I let the dogs out.
Oh, that's gonna be difficult to kill. And I have an owl. Wouldn't have been great to use the owl on that instead of wasting it, which is what I did. Alright. Summon this. And go ahead and tap this. And then I guess I'm just gonna end my turn. I have 16 cards, 17 cards. We're still pretty even though I've been drawing cards every now and then. I don't really have any spell in here that does damage to everything. It might be important to, might be smart to do that. Just put a spell in here that would just do that. Deal 8 damage then. So I like this Ragnarok's thought. They're gonna have to struggle now to kill it, or it's gonna just every turn kill one of their guys. Unleash the hounds. Of course, they have, I believe, enough to kill me. What they did, because 9 plus 10, 11, 12, they may have been one short. Alright. So if I do this and then this,
for Argon.
kill this, kill this. Think I've saved myself for one more turn. Not doing a lot to the face, not doing a lot of damage. He could probably in 4 turns just do this. We're gonna have to bring out Major Domo Executors pretty fast. It's time. If he can do one more damage. If that's an explosive trap, I've already lost. Alright.
None may challenge the living flame. Into the breach!
Is he willing to kill Major Domo Executus?
Well played.
Or is he just gonna win? I think he's just gonna win if he's well playing me. Yep. So, Not super happy with that deck. What can I say? I think it will win. I have won with this deck already because I tested all the decks out that I built. So it's not like I just picked random cards and chose them. This is still kind of where I'm thinking. If you have better suggestions, let me know down in the description. Maybe we together could get something better, but yeah, I don't want to play Warlock very often anyways. Anyways, that's the end of this episode. So as always, I ask you to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to my channel, comment if you want to, and watch every second of my videos. There are two ways you can support me. One is through clicking on my name Rydo. On the right is a blue button that says support this channel. The other is by clicking on the Amazon.com affiliate link in the description and just shopping normally. If you want to follow me on any social media sites or friend me on Steam or Battle.net, all that information is down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.